Oh, so there we are. Welcome everybody to session number 9 of the PowerApps for Kids, for big kids and little kids. We have come a long way in this. I guess I say it every single time, and it's been through the help of all the people around me that has got us to this 9th stage. We've actually also got a sister PowerApps4Kids organization that is taking place in Australia and Asia Pacific, and they've got another session coming up they've got another session coming up at the weekend. Unfortunately, it's about 2 or 3 in the morning, so but it's great that they are getting on board with this, and we welcome other people to put their own sessions on as well. Today we have got myself and Peter and the boys, and we've got the star of the show today is Krishna Rachakonda. I probably didn't say that quite right, but I'll get to practice it later on. And he'll be showing us a cool numbers game, a bit like the one that you can see on the screen there. So just running through today's session, we're going to have Krishna. He's just going to say a few words about why we should learn PowerApps. We'll have we've already done the code of conduct. You can see that I really don't know how to use how to use PowerPoint, which is why I just use PowerApps instead. I'm going to do a little Christmas card demo. The boys are going to do a session 8 recap. Good luck, boys. Krishna's going to do the making of the numbers game, which I think is going to be really neat. We'll have a little announcement. There will be a survey for which they've got a code, and I'll just mention the APAC session again. And the next session, we haven't established the time and date for the December session, but I'm pretty sure we'll get to number 10 along the way. So now what I'd like to do is I was hoping to hand over to Krishna. What is this thing doing? There we are. Krishna, would you like to say just a few words about why it is you think people should learn about PowerApps?
Hello everyone, my name is Krishna Rachakonda. I've been using PowerApps almost 2.5 years, and I built multiple applications. And I came from a development background. I developed a lot of .NET and SharePoint based applications earlier. And once I saw the PowerApps, I felt like, okay, we don't need a lot of development work. Like, you don't need to write like a huge amount of lines of code. If we see any .NET code or SharePoint, web parts or other timer jobs codes, you see hundreds and thousands of lines of code is there. And when I saw the first time PowerApp, I felt like I got so fascinated with it. And you can drag and drop controls. You can really configure just like an Excel files. And it takes the application next level. The amount of time that anybody can spend in creating a custom application, I would say like maybe 10% or 20% of it. If we spend that on PowerApp, you can make a PowerApp application ready for multi-device usage application. Means create an application and which can be used from multiple devices like a tablet or a phone or a browser. So that's a really cool thing which I really loved about it. And coming to the kids wise, like why the kids should also spend some time on the PowerApps. I have 2 daughters. One is 12 and the other one is 9. I've been teaching them how to do the programming. So they also like the PowerApps. The reason is they can simply drag and drop the controls and write very simple formulas, much less complex than what they are learning in the classes. So they really loved it. And once I built some games and showed them, they really got into PowerApps as well. Maybe in future sessions, and I'll share some of their work as well. So I would, and also the other thing is PowerApps is not just for any developers background. It is really, I mean, we have seen so many samples that were created by citizen developers, means who do not have any background of development, but they can just drag and drop and create applications within few hours. So that's why, like, I definitely recommend everybody to give a try and learn about it. A lot of things, and I see going forward, we don't need, I mean, companies definitely be looking forward, like the PowerApps and Power Platform as one of the key skill set everybody should be having. And it definitely add value to your profile.
Thank you, Krishna. So there you are, children. If you want to get a job, learn PowerApps. Yeah, thank you for that. So speaking of children, we were hoping that this time around we could get the we're going to get the boys to do a recap of the last session that we had, and so rather than me try to explain the last session that we had, I'm going to hand it over to the boys, because let's be honest, they are the most important people in the room, along with all of the other children, I should say.
Got lots of rooms that we have. So what did we see last time?
Well, we had Laura, who had a picture, and when you clicked on it, she made a hyena noise.
So how did that go? What noise did it make? Do you remember?
I think it's a howl.
There's a
know.
Or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
What else did we have?
Then I did my space app.
What was that about?
With planets going around the sun.
And did they keep going around and around and
Yeah.
around and around? They're just spinning around?
Yeah.
And what else did happen? If you clicked on a planet, what happened then?
You'll get some facts.
Get facts about the planets. Okay. So that's quite good. And what was the final bit then that we had?
We had Boy and Dan making a musical instrument.
Making a musical instrument?
PowerApps.
In PowerApps. Oh, if you haven't seen that, you have to watch that one on the video, on the recording, on the PowerApps4Kids YouTube channel, don't you? That was a great session last time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. So do you think today will be as good?
Yeah, better.
Even better?
Yeah.
It almost.
I'm here.
Oh, it always gets better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that gets us over to Krishna, isn't it, Rory? Is Krishna the next?
Yeah, I think we can do Krishna.
You want to do Christmas cards first?
Krishna, are you ready, or would you like me to? I could do a little bit of lesson time on how to fade images. Would anyone like to see how to do that?
Yes, Rory. I mean, you can start, and I can.
Should I do that? So we'll have a bit of fun. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh no, actually, this was what I was supposed to do this, by the way. So this is part of the script. So this is the I'll go F11 on this, make it go full. So this was the Christmas card that I made, and later on I'll show you how I made it. So the idea is that Santa is coming, and what you've got to do is you've got to make it all dark, because if it's light, you can't have that. Boys, can you have all the lights on? And would he come in the daytime for starters?
No, he wouldn't. When
Yeah.
you think about it, Santa doesn't want to be seen. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so what I'm doing here is I'm turning out all of the lights. And what happens when the last light gets turned out, boys?
Santa's going to appear.
He does appear.
Santa Claus.
Isn't that cool?
And
Yeah.
and he's going to give us all lots of presents.
Loads of presents, apart from this year, because he's not very well. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. No, the damage is done. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you how to do a fading image, as in getting image to fade into the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert an image, media, click the image. Now I've already got an image in my app, but if I didn't, I would add an image file, and then I would go and find a picture on my computer, and I would bring that in. I suppose the logo's there, so I could bring any image here. I could click on that, bring an image in. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to switch it out in a second. And so instead of that, I'm going to bring in the sleigh here. In fact, I'm going to make the screen black because I'm going to get the fill of that and then go black. Right, that's nice and black. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a timer. Boys, have you worked with timers before?
A little bit, but not much.
Oh, Leo, eh?
Leo's done a lot in space.
You find that I quite often use timers.
Yeah, the space app.
I've used a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, I find timers is just quite easy.
Yeah.
And
So
it helps.
I've got the duration here. So the duration says 60,000. So that's 60,000 years it's going to take for this to finish. Not really, is it? It's 60,000 milliseconds. So if I want to change this to 10 seconds, how would I do that?
Oh, you said that too.
1,000.
No.
1,000 milliseconds. 10,000. Okay, so if we look at that and we go onto the play mode, I can click that and it's going to count up to 10. And do you know what I'm going to do? Just to speed things up, I'm actually going to make it, let's make it 4,000. Not 000, 4,000. So I've changed it to 4,000. Now look on this image and I can go onto there and can put the transparency. So when it's a transparency of 0, it means that you can see it completely. And when it's got a transparency of 1, you can't see it at all. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the timer to tell us the transparency. So first of all, I'm going to do it the wrong way. So the figure that what we're looking for here is I'm just going to put a text. In fact, I'm going to go home and I'm going to change the theme so it's like a darkish theme, because that'll mean that when I bring things in, you can see it. I'm going to insert a label here. And what this is going to do is I'm going to have timer 1, because it always gets called timer. Oh, no, it won't be timer 2. Timer 2 dot value, and that'll be 0 to start with. And what I want to show you is the timer 2 dot duration is 4,000. So what I want to do is a calculation. I'm going to do another little calculation here, which is timer 2 dot value divided by timer 2 dot. What's the next thing that I should put in now, boys?
Duration.
Yeah, put the duration in. So that's not going to give me a number at all at the moment. So if I click on that, gradually it's going to count up to 1. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to attach it here, but something is going to go wrong. So the transparency, I'm just going to grab this formula here, put it onto the transparency, click the paste that in there, and then I'm going to click the play. And watch what happens. Oh no, Santa, please come back. No, I'll do it again. No, Santa, no. I want my doll. I want my present. So what should we do to fix this? What's really happening here? What's that?
Do it the other way round.
Yeah, the duration goes where the value is. The value goes where the duration is.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Copy that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're gonna and then timer 1 dot value. Right. Now this is going to be really interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this one to be the formula that you were just mentioning. So we're just going to go onto there, and I'm going to paste. So what's going to go in here is the formula that you just made. So
that doesn't work, does it?
It's not there.
No. So what else do you think?
By the time we've quite got that right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one here. We haven't quite got that right, and the reason we haven't got it right is that we want it to start off as 1 and end up as 0. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It says my 1 is what's value minus 1.
No,
it's 1 minus and then
value.
Yeah. So what that's going to do is gradually we are going to take more and more and more and more off, and by the time we get to the end, it'll be 1 minus 1, which is, Peter?
Oh, that's difficult.
0.
Yeah, and what we want? We want 0. So watch this happen.
Santa's
coming. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, come on, Santa.
Yeah.
Yay!
Brilliant. So there's the magic. It all happened, and that was lesson time for the day. We worked out how to use a timer to get an image to appear. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we are now going to move over to the star of the show, and I'm really, really excited to be able to hand over to Krishna, because I really don't know how he has managed to make this amazing game. So Krishna, are you ready for action?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. I'm going to stop sharing my, I've stopped sharing my screen. So the floor is all yours.
Okay. So can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the game. Today I'm going to demonstrate how I built it. Before we get into the details, let's play for one puzzle. So if you see on the screen, this is a number puzzle with it's a matrix kind of numbers where we see some numbers on the row and some numbers on the column. And if you see also, there will be one number missing in the puzzle. We need to, it's not like we need to find that, but we need to use that space to move the other numbers and make these numbers in the order. So to see all the instructions, I have instructions here. If we click there, we can see all the instructions. So depending on the type of the puzzle, like it's a 3x3 or 4x4 or 5x5, we need to arrange the numbers like this. One in the order of 1, 2, 3, 4, in the next row 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. And the final cell will be blank. So the blank cell can be, when we start the puzzle, the blank cell can be anywhere in the puzzle. And we just need to move these numbers around to make these numbers in a particular order. So let's get into one of the puzzle and we will start it. So I'll select 3x3, the puzzle type, and the change level I put, we got 4 freestyle. These challenge levels are basically restricts the user on the number of moves, means each move is nothing but clicking on a number. So if I click on freestyle, it will give unlimited number of moves. And if it is easy, we'll get 350 and medium is 250, like that. So let's go with the easy one, and we'll start with 3x3. And player name, I'll put my name here, and we'll click on play. So it will take us to the screen where we can see the numbers, and on the bottom right corner, you can see the timer, how much time it is taking, and also the number of moves. Because we selected the level easy, it started with 350 moves, and as we click on the numbers, the moves count will go down. So let's start with it. So as soon as I click on start, the timer starts, and as soon as I click on the numbers, the moves also goes down. And if you see on the screen right now, this is a 3x3 puzzle, and we have one empty cell. We need to use the empty cell spot to move the other numbers, and we need to keep these numbers in the order. So I need the number 1 on the top left corner and the number 2 on the middle and number 3 on here. So let's see how it goes. So I can click on the numbers and they move like the numbers. So we'll see. I mean, this is how we can move. And let me put. See, each click is a move. So already I not even finished one row. I finished almost like 40, around 35 moves. So I got my first row completed, but even though it looks very simple, the second row is also easy, but the third row is going to be very complex. So I'm not going to solve this entire puzzle, but this is how we should be moving playing the puzzle. So we got 4, 5, 6. And now finally, if you see here, my numbers 8 and 7 are in different order. They should be 7 and 8. So I need to make them 7 and 8, but I won't be able to do it generally. So I'll stop here and we will go into the details how I created it. Yeah. And the other thing is if we play this app in the mobile device or in the tab, once you successfully complete the puzzle, you can save the results, and the results can be viewed by clicking on this horse icon. That will take us and show us all the play history, how many moves you took and how much time it took for you to finish the game. So this is all about the puzzle when we play, but we will get into the details now. So before we get into the details, I know like this is a 9th session, I believe. You already know a lot of things, a lot of functions within the PowerApps. So what I would like to show you is, if you do not know some of the functions which I used in my game, which are very important for my game. One is getting all the numbers, and depending on the type of 4x4 or 5x5, I need some set of numbers, and those numbers are I need to generate them automatically, and those should be in a random order. So I created a simple sample here, like an example by using different functions. I'll be explaining that now. So if we see here, let me enter a number 9. For 3x3 puzzle, if you see the matrix, it's a 3 rows and 3 columns. So we need 9 numbers. So I'm using a function called sequence in the Power App. This is the formula sequence of 9. It will give us the first 9 numbers, 1, 2, 3 up to 9 numbers. If I put 100, you will get first 100 numbers. So I entered number 9 here, and let's click on the collection. I'm storing all the 9 numbers in a collection. Collection is a temporary place or a temporary holder, or it stores all the information while the app is running. So I'm putting all those 9 numbers in a collection, and I'll show you the code as well for this. So now I used a sequence function to generate the first 9 numbers in a sequence here. Next, on top of it, I used another function called shuffle on top of the sequence. If you see, if I don't use without shuffle, I get the same numbers. And if I use shuffle, these numbers will be, the order of the numbers will be changed. So the more I shuffle them, the order is randomly changing. So I shuffle these numbers, but still I'll have only the numbers from 1 to 9. So I'm using the shuffle function for that. And this is enough. But sometimes, if just to be on control, to control the number of numbers, using another function called first n. First n means first number of items that I want to get in this collection. So here, that's the function in the Power App, first n. So I need again first 9 numbers. So getting the first 9 numbers. So you'll get first 9 numbers here. For example, if you want only 4 numbers out of this collection, you can use first 4. So you'll get first n of 4. The second parameter for the first n function is number 4. This is how I'm getting all my numbers for the puzzle. So first thing, I'll put a sequence to get all the numbers, and then on top of it, I'm applying shuffle function to randomize the numbers, their locations or the places, and then on top of it, I'm applying first n. After that, any questions on any of these functions before we move forward?
How was that, boys? We've seen, I think we've seen shuffle before, but we haven't seen first n, and we haven't seen sequence.
Yeah, but it sounds very impressive.
Yeah.
Very good.
It looks like it'll be a very good app.
And I can definitely understand. Yeah.
Brilliant. Go for it then.
Okay. So now we will go to the next screen. So I will take all these 9 numbers, and now my next step is to keep all these numbers in a puzzle format, means the matrix format. So let's go to the next screen. So now the step 1, I need to go into the designer mode to show you what I did exactly. So if you remember, we got the same numbers. Let me go back one more time. Just keep these numbers in memory a little bit. 5, 6, 1, 4, 2, 7, 8, 3, 9. So if we come back here, the order it is going to show in the left to right and in the Power App. I used a gallery. Let's use this one. Blank vertical gallery. I used it, and I just put that collection here. When I use the collection, and inside that I just put a label that will keep the numbers in the order. Whatever numbers I am passing to this gallery, the vertical gallery, I'm placing the label there. And the next thing I need to do is the users are, I want to play the game. These are just labels, so labels will not help me. So I need to I need some way to make them clickable. So and also they should look much better than just labels. So it's in the place of labels. So that's why if you see the step 2, I have the same gallery, but this time if you see on the left side, the gallery, I removed the label control and I placed the button control. And in the button control, the property for the text is this item.value. It's the same property which I used for the label. I used it on the button's text property. So now I got the number on top of my button. So now I need to, the next step is, I don't want all these numbers should be showing up. I need one number should be missing, means the last number should be missing, means the 9 should be missing, and I should be having that spot shouldn't be visible at all. So now let me just populate the third step here. I made some logic there. Now I got the same number of items or the same numbers here, but my last button with number 9 is disappeared. The reason is if we click on the button, how I'm doing that is on the button, if I go to my visible property, you can see the logic here. This item dot value is less than or not equal to 9. If the number is not equal to 9, then only show me the button, otherwise hide it. So there is only one button with the number 9, so it hides that number. So technically, even though if we go back here and click on this here, even though we don't see any button here, there is a button which is hidden. So that's what I'm doing it. So the button is now hidden. And now I want to click on these numbers so that they can move on to the next empty space. So that I should be doing here. If I click on here, now it is moving down. If I click here, it's moving up. How does it know it should move only to this spot? Why it is not moving to the other spots? The reason is I put some logic there. So let's see how is it moving. So for that, let's click on the button. On the button has a property called onSelect. So we can see that here on the top, onSelect property. In the onSelect property, I have very simple logic here. So what it is doing is I'm looking into the collection and I'm trying to get the value. I'm looking up in, I'm doing a lookup into that collection and I'm getting the value and putting swapping with 99, some random value. And then basically I'm swapping the values. Wherever I have the 9, I'm swapping it. I'm filling the value 9 with 99 and I'm filling 9 with the value which has some number. So what exactly I'm doing here is if I click on 7, this button with the number 7 will be replaced with the button with number 9 and button with 9 will be replaced with the number 7. So that's what I'm swapping.
Krishna, can you go back onto that button again? Because this is right. They haven't learned patch before.
Oh, okay.
So boys, do you know what a collection is?
Yeah.
So, okay, and for people that don't know, a collection is an in-memory table. It's something that, because when the sequence statement was run and the clear collect statement was done, a collection was created. Krishna, if you go to view, you can see collect. You can only see the first 5 items, but you can still see them. So if you go onto collections, you can see the collections and which ones were we actually looking at. It'll be one. Now, unfortunately, when we see these collections, we can only see the first 5 items. So if you want to look at a collection, there are a number of ways of doing it. You can either create a data table or you can create a straight gallery, and data tables are kind of nice because you don't have to put any headings on them. So that can be a nice way of dealing with them. Now, the second thing is that in order to move things around, what Krishna is really doing is he's putting the original one into place 99. Like, just imagine a football team. So you're place 5, or rather you're no longer the number 7 player, you become the number 99 player, and then you move the blank cell into where that one they swap positions essentially. So the one in the blank moves to where 7 was, and then the one in position 99 moves to where the blank was. Does that roughly, is that what's happening here, Krishna?
That is correct.
So if you go back onto number 5, because that's where the button and the logic will be, and then sort of hit so you can see, first of all, it moves off to, I'm not quite sure why it says lookup value equals 9. So why does it say value? Because it does a lookup and it says value equals 9.
We are trying to replace the value with whichever value in the collection has 9. We are putting the value, we are replacing with 99.
Okay.
And then we are in that, and also the button which we are clicking on, we are replacing that with 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. It is like a swapping. We can do it better, but this is how I did it. But
yeah, sure. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So do you want to carry on with the demo?
Yeah, sure. Sure. So this is the logic. I'm sorry, like I didn't ask you. Maybe this patch is new to the kids, but
That's
patch
fine.
is basically what the main use of patch is. Like if you want to append something or if you want to update something in the table, we generally use patch. So by using the patch function, I'm actually updating the numbers in the collection. In this collection, I have so many items, so many values. So if you see here, but I do not want to update every single value. I want to update only certain value. I mean, specific value. That's why like I'm looking up into this collection to get that specific value, and I'm replacing with this statement.
Okay.
Okay. So now, is this enough to play? No, actually, if you see here, I got this. And if I click on 7, it is moving. I shouldn't be moving 7 to here.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why the next level of complexity adds up. So
if
I click on,
you know?
yeah, it's all hacks or cheat codes.
I like this. Yeah,
Yeah.
go on then.
So now the next level is if I click on the next one here, let's see what is it has. So now I'm actually, apart from the values I'm adding to the button, I also put another control in the gallery, which is a label control, which is a hidden control, which adds an index value of the cell. So if I add it here, you see the index value. Basically, it defines the location of that particular number. Even the numbers move, but the location will still say that. I mean, stay as it is. So I'll use that to calculate a few things, like whether that button can move to the next right or left or up or down.
Yeah.
So index is very important, especially in these kind of games. So when I click on it, I have some calculations on the button that will basically check on it. Not in this one, but I'll be showing you on my actual game. So I'm using the indexes. So to see the indexes, how I added it, if you click on the button, I have little more. I used, I know, like few more additional new functions for the kids. But there is a for all it is to loop through all the items within the collection. I'm using a function called for all, and then I'm also using to trim down and get the specific items I'm using the last function, and finally I'm using another value. I'm adding another value called for the index. So which is nothing but the count, the number of rows. So this is the logic I use to create the index. We can also hard code the indexes as well, but I just use this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So now let's going into the main game. I'll be showing you a few other things as well. So this is the main game. So let's get into the first 3x3 game. So when I play here, let me start it, and when we play here, and we'll see when I click on it, we see all the logic here. So the logic for the other, for example, when I click on 4, it should not go to this place. Previously, if you remember, when I click on some number here, it used to come down. Yeah. So that is not happening. The reason is when I click on the button, what I'm doing is on select of the button, I'm calculating where is my number 9. I'm getting that index value, and then I have I'm finding the index difference, means the index of the number which I clicked on minus the index of the number 9. So I'm getting the difference of it. And there are few hardcore rules, especially for the 3x3 matrix. If the difference is -1 or -3 or +1 or +3, there are few more exceptions as well. Then only move the button. Otherwise, swap the numbers. Otherwise, don't do anything. Just leave the buttons as they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think this is quite this is going to be quite challenging for children to reproduce. So if they are looking at this and they're thinking that it's complicated, you know, Krishna will have had to have worked out quite a lot of mathematics to work out, you know, the relationships between the different numbers. So if it's not completely clear, then don't worry about it. But it's just the idea that you know, the number 3 can't move to the blank space because, you know, because physically it couldn't do that, but that Krishna was using maths in order to make that decision within the app.
That is correct.
Yeah. But I think that this, you know, this is probably, this is more than, so what we can do is we can make that app available to the people that have joined the meeting. So what we can do is we can put it onto the PowerApps4Kids and we can send the app out to them so that they can look through it when they get the chance.
Sure. Okay. So this is all the main logic. So
fantastic. And so I'm guessing that with the moves, then each time you click it, then it actually adds a move to the move counter.
Right. Yes. I need to see how I think previously I was having some. Okay. So if we start here, like, yeah, it for the freestyle it adds the move count. Otherwise, it for the other challenge levels it actually decreases the number of.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, very useful. Great.
Yeah.
Boys, how did you find that?
Do you see what's going on here?
I found it was quite complicated, to be honest.
Yes, I think it's complicated, but at the same time, it's an amazing app.
The game itself is very good. It's quite interesting, but it's complicated to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it shows you that, I mean, one time I tried to make a calculator and all the calculator was supposed to do was add a few numbers and take a few numbers off. And it's surprisingly difficult to do some things, like, for example, you know, when you're writing numbers, you would do 28.3, but you can't do 28.3.4. So, you know, it just shows you that this is quite advanced. So, but it just shows you that you can take your apps really far if you really want to. So, Krishna, thank you. That was brilliant.
But an important thing to remember, I think, Rory, in this case, is that I think the way Krishna built it up as well, the first few images, when we had these collections, they were quite simple, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Then you were able to understand that. You need to make very small little steps to get to your end goal. Don't try and get to the end goal by the first step.
Yeah.
Make 100 steps before you get to the last step. This is exactly the screen I was thinking of. So first you have just a list of numbers, then you reshape the numbers, then you need to look at how do I now move one number to another spot, and then the next thing is how do I make sure I can't move across. So you could, for example, check all the different positions and make sure that you don't do the envelop bits. And if you build it slowly up, you can probably make it yourself.
Yeah.
But it's about little steps.
And I uploaded this game, the app, into the PowerApps community kids zone. So you can actually see how I built the videos as well. So you can get into see the demo as well as the instructions, how I built it. And also you can see all the instructions, how to play and other things. And you can download the app as well. So I kept that in the community.
Krishna, if you wouldn't mind, could you copy and paste that link into the chat, and then that way people can pick that up easily?
Sure, sir.
So, well, thank you. That is an amazing app, really. I did think it was going to be difficult. I think that the first bit of it is kind of like, it was straightforward to begin with, but then that whole decision making that you needed to make around working out whether or not you could or couldn't move things. That's when it gets interesting. But it is interesting. So would it be okay if I built a Christmas card for you? Shall I share my screen and we'll do a bit of a live build? We'll do it from blank.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to see how quickly I can build an app for you. So I'm going to do file. I'm just going to do new, and I'm going to do a tablet layout. Unsaved changes. Do you want to save your progress? Nah, I don't really want to. I'm not bothered. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to see if I can cheat my way to doing this. Now I'm going to F11 this. I'm going to go to PowerApps. github.com/PowerApps4Kids. Because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump into, I've got some repositories here, and I've got media here, and I'm basically just going to go and grab this one here. So if I go onto that image there and then right click on the download and then copy link address and go back to my app and then go on to the, I think it's the image, background image. So, and then in the quotes, I just pop this in here. Ta-da! That's cool, isn't it? Boys, do you think that's cool? I managed to do.
They're good.
Oh,
Yeah, quite fun.
I think that's quite good. So there's my starting image. Wonderful. What am I going to do next? I'm going to do this really quickly, by the way. I'm going to do insert button, and all we're going to do is we are going to turn off just the one house. It's just your house. In fact, no, let's turn off this house.
Yeah,
so,
you don't need presents, Dory.
You do need presents.
Oh, no. So what we're going to do is we're also going to go and get Santa. So let's just come off here. Where's Santa gone? Santa, there he is. Santa sleigh. Right click on that, copy link address, go back up here, pop an image in, media image. We'll have Emma doing this next time around, just to verify that the training has all worked. So there's Santa, he's appeared. So that's good. Pop him down there. Well done, Santa. What's that?
Robin was just saying hello to Santa.
Hello, Santa. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to do so on select. I'm going to say set GV. I'll call it window 1 to be, and I'm going to do something quite. I don't know if you've done this, but you can do, if you do the exclamation mark, it means the opposite. So if it was true, then it becomes false. If it's false, it becomes true. So if I then go on to put a text label here, and I'm just going to change the theme because that way I can see stuff. So change the theme, do that one there. Oh, that didn't work. Control Z. So I've changed the color of the I'll just do back. There is something, I don't know if you found this recently, Peter, but the undo function isn't as undoey as it used to be.
Control Z seems to be a bit struggling at the moment.
Yeah,
I find that when I'm making PowerApps by myself, sometimes it doesn't control Z.
Sometimes it doesn't work anymore, and it becomes really frustrating.
Yeah.
We
will have to tell Mr. PowerApps that you've been frustrated by this.
Yes.
So what I'm going to show you here is that I'm just flicking it between true and false. And so what I can do with that is I can, so it just flicks it between true and false. Actually, no, I didn't even do that. I did it as GV window. Oh, do you know what? I'll just make it really simple. GV window 1 plus 1. I think that's what I should do. Something like, yeah, let's go with that. Do you know what? I'm actually trying to remember how I even did my little app. Well, that's the whole joy of this thing here, is I can just go and open my app up, remind myself of how I actually made it, and then go back in, because as everyone knows with Power Apps, you can build them in 100 different ways. And so what I did was I used the same logic for every single button that I created. So it's quite clunky. There are loads of better ways for me to make this, but I wanted to make something that was kind of on the simple side. So I actually did do that. So great. Yeah, I know what I did now. So what I then did was I then created a label. Oh, and this is mad, isn't it? Yeah, okay, fine. So what it is the way in which the label works is that true is the same as saying the number 1. I think I got away with it. I didn't realize I was actually doing this. So copy that and paste it. And then what I'm going to do is the text is some GV window 1, and that should do the trick. Yeah, so you can see the number there. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to do that opposite thing. So do the opposite and go there. So I'm just struggling with my keyboard. So I'm going to make it the opposite. So we're still flicking between true and false. But what that means is I can now, I'm going to put another button in and just pop this one over here, this place here. And what I'm now going to do is on this sum here, I'm going to make it to be GV window. I'm actually going to make it window 2. It won't like me because it doesn't exist yet. But if I just do this and do this, I need a little comma in there, then everything's happy again. And I can just click this and it will flick up. And then what I do is I change the visibility. In fact, I didn't change the visibility because I didn't want the button to disappear, because then you can't click it anymore. So instead of making it invisible, I just changed the fill property. So, and I made it to be GV window 1, something like that. Yeah, in fact, it's going to be the opposite of GV window 1. So in order to make it disappear, you can see, hello, that didn't work. But the idea is that I made it disappear by flicking it between these numbers. So what that meant was that I could then control the visibility of Santa. The way in which I did that was by going on to the visible property, and I then said if some and what I'm going to do is GV window 1, comma GV window 2 equals 2, then true, otherwise do false. So that means that they both have to be pressed in order for him to appear, otherwise he disappears. But and then what I did on the color of the button, I changed the color of the button. I removed the text for the button as well. So if we move to the one where it actually works, then you can go onto the button there. And what I did was on the fill property, I then used the RGBA, which we've done this before, haven't we, boys? The RGBA. So the A means the intensity of the color. And so essentially, in fact, I flicked it around. I did the button the opposite way around. So the button becomes kind of visible when it's clicked and invisible when it's not clicked. And what that then means, that if you actually look at all of the buttons, they've, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So all that happens is you click all the buttons and gradually, and notice this thing that's cool, is that I put a massive label in front of everything. And the fill property, is this sum divide, and I just did divide by 15 because I didn't want to make it black. So you can see that I made it get darker and darker the more buttons that were pressed to make it like it's getting nighttime. So that was my little demo of, not a very good demo, by the way, of building a Christmas card, but that's the idea that I had to make this appear. And then we already saw that business where Santa appeared when all the lights were out. Or essentially, it turns on the timer, because if I go onto admin, I can then see what's going on with the timer, and then I click on there. In fact, there's a light. Boys, can you see which light's not out yet? Boys, where is it? Where?
I can't.
Where?
On the left.
It's on the left.
Where? There, here.
No, further down. Yeah.
Yes,
I
we
could
did it.
clearly see that.
And how about the light in the Christmas tree?
Yeah.
No, couldn't
See,
do
there's
that.
a bit onto the house that is still on. Oh,
Yeah.
and Santa.
Yeah. So yeah, let me get my battery going on before this all dies. But yeah, hopefully you get the idea with that. You know, there's a simple logic going on there, and you can understand that, can you? But do you think you guys would be able to make a card for Christmas?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to also show you that, you know, I'm going to get this back to the beginning. In fact, I should have had a reset button on it, but I haven't. But if I get rid of everything, ka-ching, 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 I'm sure there's one left. There is one left. Where's the one that's left? Oh, it's this one here. So the idea is that this is visible, and if you look at the visible property on this, I just basically looked at there's a text here, and this button, this label just adds everything up. That's all it does. There's better ways of doing it, but it just adds everything up, and everything else does is just looks at that label there to work out what's happening next. And so I've got a little admin button to make it show or hide. But you could have it on a different screen as well if you wanted to. So there you are. This is my example of an app which is for a Christmas card. And the challenge out to everyone is to go and create your own.
Yep.
So I'm going to stop sharing at this point in time. And we'll just go on to say hi to everyone. Oops, don't do that. So that brings us to the end of the session. Thank you for all attending. Did you learn some things today, boys?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, it's good, wasn't it?
And do you have any ideas for making a card for yourself?
Are you in the Christmas spirit?
Yeah, I reckon I might make a advent calendar one, as in with an advent calendar on it.
The only problem with that is you've got to do 24 things. You got to
Or he just gets 24 buttons and they navigate to a separate screen with a photo of Christmas.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is you've got to find 24 images.
Well, the thing is, we only need to find that many images if we have PowerApps for Kids on December the 1st. Do PowerApps for Kids the next time on the 23rd of December or something like that. We only need to worry about the one image. There's only one image left. We've eaten all the other chocolates already. So
yeah, so you've got a bit of time anyway.
Yeah.
I haven't decided yet. I don't know.
We'll find something.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone for participating today. Thank you firstly to Emma, because we don't actually thank Emma enough for the help that she gives us to put these sessions on. And thank you to Krishna for showing us his app. I know how difficult these apps are to think of in your head, and then you start doing it and then you think, oh, this is not as easy as I first thought. And you keep going, and then maybe there's a thing that you did and maybe you should have done it a different way, and then you've got to roll back, and then you realize you've got to give it to everyone, so you've got to change all the labels so they make sense, and next minute you spent 3 weeks on it.
Right. Actually, I started with using PowerApps components, and I felt like, okay, I should make it simple so that we can explain it to easier, like to other people. So then I changed it from component to normal buttons and labels.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present today.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Peter and the boys, for coming on, and to Michelle for dropping in, saying hello. And please, bear in mind that you can go to lots of places. I'll just do a quick screen share before we sign off, just to remind you the places that you can go. I mean, might as well just start off with PowerApps4Kids.com. That's the starting point for where you can go to learn a bit more. You can look at the videos, because that's going to be where all of the videos for the sessions are. So if you want to catch up on those, and you can also go to the downloads, because there is downloadable content that you can get to in order to download things and have a look at how people have made apps in the past. So I shall just finish sharing my screen now, and we will sign off the session. Peter, did you have anything else you wanted to say at this session?
No, well, I would say see you next time, and enjoy making some Christmas cards. And if you want to share them, feel free to send them to us.
Brilliant. Yeah, by all means, Twitter, whatever you like best in terms of getting those out. Yep. Fantastic. Emma, thank you for helping us put this on, and I'm going to hand over to you and say thank you to everyone and goodbye.
Brilliant, Rory, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who's attended today for all your participation throughout, and really looking forward to seeing you all at the next session. It will go live on our meetup as soon as we have details. And for any recordings of previous sessions, you can always find them at the PowerApps4Kids website. So we can pop a link in there as well, so you have access to that. So yeah, thank you again, everyone, and see you next time.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.